So today we're going to be raising an army that'll help us reach paradise. First we gotta do is collect some mana with our orb over here. We just hold this down and then it increases the mana collection rate, but we can't tap it over because that's bad things. But we get 58 mana here, and then we enchain a soul, which allows us to summon a skeleton. And then the skeleton is just gonna march right up to this wall up here and start chopping it down. But he doesn't do a whole lot of damage on his own, so let's just get some more souls here. And we'll raise that just to the very top, and then get some more souls happening here. So now we have 3 skeletons attacking the wall, of which there is 99 of these. But something else that we can do is collect mana to increase our focus. That gives us some passive mana collection rate. So we just collect, say, 100 mana, and then get the focus going a few times. So now we have a passive rate of 8 per second. And now I think it's time we gave the skeletons a little bit of help, so we summon 2 more of those. And they bring the wall all the way down to the halfway point, which gives us a skill point that we can use to increase a few things. But let's unlock the Goblin Archer here to give us a new minion to work with. So once we get another soul there, we can summon a Goblin Archer that also has poison. I'm not sure how poisoning walls work, but he's figured it out, although not for very long. We're gonna need more of those to have an effect. But let's just increase focus a little bit more, and these guys have just busted through the first wall. Beautiful. On to the next one, which already has quite a bit more health, but we're gonna be summoning a large army here, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now let's use these other 2 skill points for increasing the base damage of the skeletons, as well as getting some better mana regeneration from focus, and then gain a little more focus all the way up to 10 points in there, so that's 22 per second. That's pretty good. Now we'll get some more souls here, 5 of them, and we can hold this down a lot longer to get a lot more mana from that. And then we can summon more Goblin Archers here. That should let the poison happen a lot more often, so it doesn't go away as fast, but it is still reduced by 5 plus 5% of total poison each second. So we're gonna need to use a skill point to increase the poison per arrow. So now the poison should last a little bit longer, but it's not that much. But at least we're doing 19 damage per second. So let's get 10 more souls that we can use, and then get 5 more to the skeletons as they bust through another wall for more skill points. Oh, and we get something new here, a side quest. Earn items or souls from completing side quests. Neat, but we need 1,000 mana for that. Thankfully, we're already halfway there, so we can boost the damage of the skeletons again and a little more focus. And now we can start a side quest. Find the duck. A nearby town's unofficial mascot duck has gone missing. Have you tried setting up a lemonade stand? I hear they like those. But we can inquire or interrogate. How about we interrogate here? Interrogating innocent peasants. Word around town is that the duck has headed towards the river. Okay, so breakfast or investigate? I think we just need to investigate that. So we head off to the river immediately, and this fills up the quest progress bar. Oh good, the poison is lasting a lot longer now, or at least it just seems like it. Either way, we definitely need more goblins, and we are still getting through the wall pretty fast here. I like it. On the river's edge, you see duck tracks that lead to the water. Oh, so we can enhance. I've seen enough crime shows. This is what we do next. Enhance. Enhancing the duck track images in the lab is a very important step, and we get, yes, another wall down. Now, if we break through this wall, then we get access to another part of the skill tree. But also, it looks like this wall is healing itself somehow. Well, that's fun. But we are doing way more damage than it heals, so we're doing pretty okay. Deduct that the duck has entered the river. Okay, so we could wade or dive. Well, ducks wade, so let's wade ourselves. And then get 2 more goblins out here. And yes, the poison is lasting so much longer. But the skeletons are still outperforming the goblins by a huge margin. So let's just get the poison up to 5 poison per arrow, and then use the other one for here. So we're getting almost 30 mana per second. But let's focus one more to just enhance that a little better. And we can hold this down to increase that even more. And we get to 1,000 mana pretty quickly, which I like. Now underwater, lack of oxygen quickly becomes an issue. Yeah, I can imagine that'd be the case. We could use some reeds or conjure. Can we just conjure oxygen? You know what? I don't see why not. Conjuring oxygen directly into the lungs, yes. And look at how much poison there is. There's 76 stacks of poison roughly. That is an insane amount. Equal to the poison modifier per second. So now the poison is outdoing the skeletons. I like that. And also, we have broken through wall 4. So now we get access to more skills. Ooh, Bone Spear invocation spell. Do I even have that? I don't think I have that. But we can also unlock a cultist. I like that idea. And we can increase mana per click too, which is interesting. But I feel like our passive generation is way better right now. So let's check out the Bone Spear invocation spell. So that can do quite a bit of damage, but that also costs souls here. Or mana, I mean. Might as well do this just once, but we don't have the skill point anymore. Okay, side quest time. Deep underwater, the duck's trail is going cold. Well, where are you expecting to find underwater? Just like go downstream or something. We can either search or we just know. We just know. Generating a field of awareness that encompasses the river. This is some overlord shenanigans here. Oh gosh, I read that wrong initially. The duck has been sighted, dead ahead. I thought I was saying the duck was dead, but we just need a little more and then we can pursue the duck or we subdue it. I feel like this second option progresses the quest bar way more. But you know what I want to do is get some souls here and enlist some cultists. Hapless human that charges mana to be released upon death. Oh, interesting. So you just collect it, and then we can also sacrifice a minion to cash in, I guess. Very cool. So it's like an investment. We can make a huge investment out of that. Wall number 5 is down. We're making good progress here. Hopefully there aren't any more walls that regenerate because that is just weird. But we do have more skill points, so we might as well do one of these into here. So now we get 2 every time we hold this down. And now the poison and skeletons are pretty neck and neck. So let's enhance the skeletons a bit more. And, oh, we're out of skill points. I was gonna do more focus. But now we can pursue the duck. You know what? Maybe it's friendly. Swimming down the duck in a battle of endurance. Oh gosh. Okay, while that's going, let's try this Bone Spear out. Whoop! It just bunks into the wall. It doesn't even do that much damage. Everything else is doing way more. That is so not worth it. And is it getting more expensive the more we do this, or can we just launch that endlessly? We can just launch that endlessly. Okay, that's not so bad. I was worried that it was gonna go up in cost the more we used it. Oh my goodness. The duck is finally in hand. The townsfolk ask what shall become of it. We can roast the duck or knight it. I feel like we get better rewards if we just knight the duck. So let's save up for that and enhance the focus here. And since we have that much, we might as well just put it all into focus just to get that generation rate way up. That's 50 per second. I like that. And then let's see over here. Oh wow, we've got a lot of estimated charge. Might as well sacrifice some cultists then. Cash that in. That's an instant 3,000 and 5,000 right away. Beautiful. And then we spend just a portion of that back to get them back here. Get them back? Get them back here. That is working very well. Knighting a duck. This duck is gonna be mighty, if you know what I mean. Still haven't seen that movie. But hey, we got a mana rock reward. Sir Wade, the uncooked hero of the town. Wow. Okay, mana rock. So now we have item slots over here that we can equip. Ooh, and this gives 50 per second mana generation. I love that. That is so instant. And then it should be, yeah, keeping pace with the focus generation. I love it. So let's start another side quest. An unruly mob have gathered around the mayor's house. You know what, let's just get through these quicker. Telepathy. Browsing a nearby peasant's memories. Let's see what your search history is. The mob are angry about the recent increase in taxes. Oh, believe me, I'm with you. Pitchfork? Can we give him a pitchfork? Thrusting it into the air. I think we're on the peasant's side here. Looking ruffled, the mayor has come out to face the mob. Boo, boo the mayor. It's not spooky season anymore, but boo. I was expecting us to, you know, just quell the peasants. Crumpling under the pressure, the mayor has turned bright red. Start to heckle him. We're doing very well here. Let's just even out the focus to an even 20, and then get a few more souls here until we're broke. And then cash in the cultists, all of them, and then bring them back. But they are getting more expensive as we summon them, so maybe not doing that so liberally. Now in the manic, the mayor is trying to escape. Jostle him. Jostling the crowd to block exits. Well, that works out pretty well. And since our total generation of mana is 100 a second, we can fire a few bone spears at a time. It's still negative income because we're throwing a few bone spears a second, but that is, you know, a little bit of a help. That quickly outpaces everything else. Oh my goodness. Out of options, the mayor has surrendered unconditionally and still want to get through this quest, so demanding all taxes be eliminated. Surely this won't have any long-term consequences. Unsatisfied, the mob want you to voice one more demand. Petticoats or porridge? Sure, everybody gets petticoats. Okay, but I feel like we need more damage dealers, so let's get some more goblins in here because that poison does really well. And then get a few more. I want 20 goblins. And now Enchaining Souls is costing 2,000 apiece. That is gross, but we have a lot of goblins here. Negotiations are complete. What of the mob? We could just make them disappear. Pardon me while I withdraw some cultists and then disappear the mob, teleporting the mob to a random location. Hopefully your petticoats do you some good. And we got 10 souls. 10 souls. That's not bad. And there's no more side quests for us to do. That's kind of disappointing. But let's upgrade the mana charge of the cultist to 22 per second. That's a good rate, I think. And we are getting 200 stacks of poison here just constantly. So that's what's feeding directly into the damage per second as wall number 7 goes down. And thankfully wall number 8 doesn't have any funny tricks about it because that unlocks another tier of the skill tree. Really wish there was another side quest though. But here, let's enchain some more souls that we can and then get some more skeletons. Up to 20 there as well. And then get the cultists back. Maybe 5 cultists? I think that's good. And we can increase the damage of the bone spears, but I feel like that, yeah, that also increases the mana cost. But can we get the damage to 100 pretty quickly? I feel like we can. And then just, you know, using this a little bit to speed up the process ever so slightly, and definitely gain some more focus. Would like to see the focus generating 100 per second on its own. We'll upgrade the focus a little bit more. Okay, 75 per second. That's a good pace, but we can do better. Ever so slightly. We're almost there. Sacrifice a few of these guys, and then 100 per second. Beautiful. Bring the cultists back. Sorry, fellas, nothing personal. Maybe we'll get a side quest when we break through this wall, because I would like another equipable item. And since we still have souls to use, might as well put those towards goblins, because that poison is looking really clutch right now. As wall number 8 goes down. So we're almost 10% of the way there. In not a lot of time, actually, but you know how these games go. Either way, let's see what skills we get. And another side quest. Ooh, Captain Summon Spell. Increases damage multiplier. Ooh, I like that. And then there's Mana Amplification here, which increases the generation rate, as well as damage. I like that idea. Oh wow, the Captains cost 3 souls. Thankfully we can afford that. So we can get one of these in here for 0.16 times damage. And then if we hold this down, then we get a little bit of mana multiplier, hopefully. That might not be how that works. Oh wait, and there's enlightenment here, but that's 100,000 and we didn't get that right now. So we might have to hold this down for longer. Yeah, might get up there. I don't think it's tipping it over because the bone guy over here said bad things happen when that happens. Okay, but let's do the side quest. This old scroll you found suggests one of these temples has treasure. Ooh, let's prepare for that. Another skill point, beautiful. Let's increase the captain buff because that's something we actually have access to right now. But it only went up 0.01. That is annoying. We're gonna need way more captains for that. So let's get a few more of those. And then sacrifice a cultist just to bank on all that. 34,000 mana here. Beautiful. And chain a few more souls so we can get another captain. We have 3 captains here. And let's see, approaching the door, you notice it's locked by a mechanism. Analysis. And then a little more focus. 105 per second. Looking pretty good. Uh-oh. A trap suddenly triggers, launching a poison dart in your direction. But we can grab it, so let's be cool about it. Grabbing the dart out of midair. Insert whatever character you want that can do that. That's what we look like. And it might just be me, but it doesn't seem like it's taking that much longer to break down these walls as we go on. So we're still doing a good amount of damage. As number 9 goes down. Now we get to wall 10. And the next skill tree bit unlocks at wall 12. So what is this one? Soul Contract. Reduce the casting cost of Soul Contract. Ooh. Soul Contract allows the binding of a free market soul. Interesting. So this is just another way of getting souls that's cheaper? It looks like it. Oh, wow. How about that? That is way cheaper. Let's just get way more souls here. So we have 11. I would like to put them all towards captains. So we cash in the cultists, and then let's bring in as many captains as we can, which should be 3, 4 of them. 5? 5 of them, sure, and we get 1 cultist left over. So we have a damage multiplier of 2.4.
That's a lot of damage.
That is beautiful
How
right
about a little
now.
more?
So we should be doing over 1,000 damage a second, I think. We can see a little more things. A few soul contracts here, and then more goblins? More goblins. But that is taking huge chunks out of the wall's health at a time. I love it. Now for the entrance door. Button or blood? Let's just push the button. Okay, locating the secret open button. Yes. And I really wish I knew how quick the holding thing is here, because if we can get the mana generation faster than this, then we could launch bone spears endlessly. So let's increase the focus a little bit more. We only have one cultist, so the banking is not as fast as I would like. And the holding down the thing here really isn't that good, even still. Okay, the portal opens. Yay! Revealing a long, dark staircase. Saturate. Yes, just up the saturation. With the way lit, you forge deeper into the depths. Cool. Well, we can see well enough, so let's just run. We are so close to 1,000 damage per second. Or was that just because of me? That might have been just because of me. But the damage sources are... the bone spear went away, so it's not us. Good. The less I have to do, the better. Oh, yes, the treasure can be seen on a suspicious pedestal. Harrison Ford has taught me well. Switch it out. And it's exactly that. Carefully switching the treasure with a weight-matched bag of sand. As number 10 goes down. Nice. Okay, so these are taking a little bit longer as we go, especially because their health is going up like ×3 every time. But the poison is still looking really good. Oh, here it goes. Despite your efforts, a massive boulder rolls towards you. We're just continuing this. Whip. Throwing the whip at the boulder, slowing it down enough to escape. That's not what I would have done, but hey, we're about to complete the quest. And we have a treasure. Gnarled staff. Ooh. And that has a mana multiplier 0.5. Very good. So that's gonna help with the mana per second. We're getting 75 there from the, idle things, but we still are not seeing that, boost that this mana amplification was supposed to give. Unless it is what happens when we boil over. Let's just try that really quick. Maybe that skeleton friend was just blowing smoke. Aha, there it is. Chance to crack. Okay, so that's what happens. There is a chance the orb will crack next time mana amplification is activated. It's 16% right now, chance. So maybe we can slide on that for a little bit. We are getting 300 mana per second. That is way better. That was worth it. And since we already have it once, then we should be able to put skill points into here and just make that better. Oh, but I guess I reset it. Or is only a limited time thing, in which case we just do this again and get that mana multiplier there. So that's ×2, and the damage multiplier is ×3. And we're doing 1,000 damage per second. This is beautiful. But I feel like the skeletons could use a little bit of support. So let's just cash in this cultist for 20,000 extra mana, and then get some souls in here to bring back 5 of them. And then maybe we can get the amplification twice. But since that is risky, I'm not sure. Let's just try it once. Not really sure what happens when the orb cracks. But if we just do... there it cracked. Oh gosh, okay. That was my bad. So we can't charge it up anymore for a little bit. There it goes again, though. So we can guarantee do it once, because we could just increase it in the skill tree. But let's also increase the captain here, as we have 8 captains. That is explaining so much of why the damage is good. But now the soul contract is costing as much as the enchaining souls, so it doesn't really matter, aside from one of these might have a better inflation rate. But we need that mana amplification to keep the damage multiplier above 3, so we're bringing this back, and then we can get another captain. I think that's worth it. And since the focus is so cheap, we'll boost that a little bit more until we have less than 1,000, but that quickly comes back. And wall number 11 is dealt with. Still no regeneration, so thankfully that's not an issue, but man, that rate is slow now. So we definitely need to boost damage somewhere, not the multiplier, but like the base level damage. And I feel like we can get these skeletons to 10 per second at least. They are the cheapest units, so maybe we lean more into those for a little bit. And I really want to get a second level amplification here. I feel like the odds are good right now. Or maybe not. At least you still get some passive things from the rock. But maybe there's an upgrade that'll reduce the chances of the orb cracking, because 16% is actually more than I realized. And here, let's sacrifice the cultist. We can get a few souls back at a time, and then go into the contract until that costs more, and then enchaining souls, and then one more captain for 10 captains. And what sucks is the more we raise the poison modifier, the more it reduces on each thing, because of that additional 5%. But that's still our best damage source, so we'll go with that. And that mana amplification is basically needed for getting through the walls at a decent pace. But we do get pretty close to this enlightenment here, which is that just the prestige? That might just be the prestige. And we have to remember that increasing this reduces the cost, so we can get another point there and see it drop in real time, but not that much. Oh well, might as well use it. and then the Enchanting Soul. So not really sure skeletons are exactly worth it at this point, so we could trade all of these back and get more goblins here. I think I like the idea. Let's sacrifice half of the skeletons and then bring back that many goblins, and then just, you know, the rest of our souls. So we almost have 40 goblins here. Hold on. 40 goblins. And that is doing way better things for the poison stacking, because that's basically our only source of damage. The skeletons are actually pretty negligible. Oh, there's another side quest. I didn't realize that was there. Unless it like just got there. Reports are coming in of an ogre on a rampage. Brunch or bench. We'll start getting those gains. Ogre has been spotted in the hill region. Let's just peer over there into the orb of seeing. The what is that thing called? The Palantir? Is that what Saruman used? Anyway, another wall is down, so we have more skill tree. So we get Fireball. So damage is based on mana consumed, and the mana cap increases. I didn't realize we had a mana cap. Mind Sphere for more mana multiplier, but let's get a mage. That also does mana generation, but it's better than the cultist. And then the mana multiplier is a 0.2. Okay, we can get the mana multiplier to 2 times out of base level pretty quickly then. True enough, the ogre's on a rampage, smashing up a village. Just teleport, and very quickly we get to 100,000 mana, even more so. So we could unlock enlightenment, but let's enchain a soul really quick, or soul contract. I want to get a mage in here for even better mana generation, and instead of having to sacrifice these guys, they just fire it directly into the orb, feeding directly into the mana per second. Also, I didn't realize this wall we're working on is 1,000,000 health, but we're still getting through it. Okay, time to deal with the ogre. Shocked by your appearance. Catchphrase time. You know me, gotta go for a wisecrack. Hey, don't you think you're ogre doing it a little? Saw me roll up and is like, it's so ogre. Okay, I gotta see the fireball. I gotta see it in action. So the cost is constantly going up. Estimated damage 5,000 already. Wow. Words of little effect. Ogre punch incoming. Parry that. Redirecting the energy of the punch. Looks like you have an opening. Oh yes. Robert Downey Jr. time. Discombobulate. I think we can wait on the fireball until the damage is 10,000. That's a good chunk. It worked. What's the follow-up? Discombobulate. Beast has been thoroughly defeated. What now? Discombobulate. And that defeats the ogre. 20 souls. Ooh, very good. So we can get some more mages in here. Wish I could see what their total generation was. So now we're actually getting close to doing 2,000 damage a second. There's 1.9 that flash, but if we had a few more goblins, I think we could tip that over. So can we get 50 goblins? Let's just keep it at 50. And come on, let's see. Yes, 2,000 damage. Very good, but also very small in the scheme of 1,000,000. But since we have more souls here, 2 more captains, I think. And then would like those extra skill points just so we can increase that captain's effect to 2 times total. Because we're almost at 4 times damage. And if we had 2 more skill points like we're getting at the end of this wall, then the captains can get that times 2, or times 0.2 is what I mean. But we're also getting close to 1,000 mana a second. Granted, that's with the mana multiplier, but that still counts. The damage is getting close to 10,000, but I feel like the wall's gonna go down before then. So we'll launch 1 fireball. Oh, yes, that did it. And that, wow, that quickly outpaced everybody. Oh my, wow. Oh, and now we're beating up a stream, a piranha-infested stream. So we're just singling out all the piranhas in here. Okay, but we have those skill points. Now, the mana multiplier would be good too. Let's get the captains there. So that's at times 0.2. So when we get this amplification going, then we're at 4.1 damage multiplier. That is amazing. And wow, that damage already is scaling up to 10,000 there pretty quickly. So now the fireball can do even better, and we could launch 2 of them for 19,000 total, but that is amazing how good that does already. And the cultists have banked 100,000 mana here. Speaking of which, let's unlock this enlightenment. So, okay, it's not the prestiging. Casting meditate increases mana generation from focus. Hey, I like the idea. Generation buff. Ooh, and it's tens of %. Oh yes, let's double that already. And it's still really cheap. How high can we raise this with everything? 320%. That is amazing! Sadly though, no new subquests. We probably gotta unlock the next research tier to get a new one. But here, since we just spent all that money, let's sacrifice the cultists here to get all of that mana back and then bring them back, which is also getting more expensive, but thankfully not too much. And if we get 500,000 mana, then we get Awakening, which unlocks Heighten. Probably a bonus to mana generation of something, but thankfully it's not prestiging because we have more to do here. And you know, more fireballs to launch, which it would be cool to see the poison outpace the fireball damage. And the skeletons are only doing 4% of the total damage. Okay, I think the skeletons are kind of outmatched here, but that does mean more goblins for us. And I love that we can do back-to-back fireballs for 10,000 damage, and that is a huge chunk of the wall. So definitely need to keep that up, and that gets us close to another skill point. So that's very good for tipping over the line. Yes! So now if we boost that, then we get better damage conversion and better mana cap, so I think it's just good all around. I'm also not even sure what the mana cap even is. Let's go for that. Okay, so it's not quite 50% of the mana consumed, but it's getting there. And then let's also get a bit more meditation in here. Would like to see that be 500%. For right now though, we can get this to 400%, which is still really good. And then we're basically just saving up for fireball here, which it looks like it's banking up like 10% of our total mana. Roughly. So 4 times damage multiplying is looking good right now, but we need more damage sources. So we're going to just enchain a couple more souls and contract a few more. Would really like to see this poison get above 1,000 charges. That would be amazing. But there goes wall number 14. And now we're just fighting lily pads. I feel like this route could be avoided, but we get another side quest, so hey, more rewards. Ooh, artillery. I like the sound of that already. Ominous and mysterious tower appeared in a nearby field. Okay, yep, just artillery it. No questions asked. And then let's boost the mana amplification a little bit. And then the mana multiplier here as well. Physical attacks seem to have no effect. Okay, well, let's just, you know, speak to them then. Speaking in the tongue of magical structures, that's a thing? Is that why masons are so good at their job? An entrance is visible? Okay, pull. Magical surface will not yield. Dig or just topple? Yeah, let's just topple the tower. As expected, the underside is regular stone. Oh, just throw a goblin at it? Nah, fireball. When in doubt, fireball. A piercing shriek can be heard. It's a mandrake alarm. Oh, okay. Well, let's just deactivate it then. By depositing magical soil. The place must be a treasure hoard. Now to find the loot. Bees or knees? What? Usually it's not the bees, but I think bees. Mana infused bees to search for the treasure. If the treasure is honey, then there's not gonna be anything left. But at the rate these have been going, then the next reward should be an item. Find the treasure box and identify the final death traps. Let's just strike. Transmute the security system to dust. A slight weapons malfunction, if you will. And there it is, a boning wand that, did we talk about that? Bone spear level, wait, bone spear level plus level cap. Oh, is that for the skill? Well, that's not nearly as exciting. Let's just leave that be, and we can also fire a bunch of bone spears because I think our mana generation is actually outperforming it. Very good, so we can just hold this here, and that is slowly being on par with the arrows, but that's also annoying to do. So here, focus is really cheap. Let's just increase that to 50, sure. And then meditate to get kind of that high, and then we'll cash in the cultists so we can get the fireball damage back to 10,000 and fire 2 of those back to back. There we go, the most progress we've seen in a little while. It still outpaces the poison by a huge margin, but thankfully we're generating mana quick enough that we can do that very quickly short after. Now, what to do with this skill point? We could increase the mana generation of the mages because the more mana we get, the more fireballs we can shoot, which is always a good time. And then when we get to the next wall, we can reset the skills to realign them so we can get some things back, like all these skeleton skill points that aren't doing anything, and the bone spear ones. Oh, we're getting close to fireballs doing 20,000 damage. That's like 1% of this, or not 1%, it's like some percent of the million wall. So let's just see it. So that's like 5%? Something like that. Either way, just back-to-back fireballs here. Oh yes, that is beautiful. It's just too bad that it diminishes really quickly. So that's why we need more mages. So let's get a few souls there and then use them. Excellent, lots of mana generators. As we're getting 2,000 per second, that's before the buff. But you know, let's just keep the buff going because it's kind of necessary at this point. But I think we can get that wall down with just a few more fireballs here. Okay, never mind, not nearly as much. Need the big ones again. And the cultist mana banking isn't nearly as good as it used to be because we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of mana as we break through the lily pads. What's gonna be next? Like a marsh? Oh, what is this? Antique security systems have been activated. Oh, that's not good. Kills a minion at a steady rate? Oh, great. Targets melee minions first. So that's a benefit for the skeletons. Bring those back. Sorry, fellas. Okay, it's 10 minions per minute. So I need 10 skeletons out there. Sacrifice the cultist. Need to bank up a lot of souls here. And probably doing the contract because that's cheaper, but now we, don't have that. At least we have 10 skeletons here, and no cultists, so that's not a good time. But oh man, that's gonna go through all of the skeletons. And then, is it gonna go for the captains next? Do the captains count as melee? Support minion. Melee, range. Okay, so the skeletons are the only melee minions we have. But here, let's just use these to reduce the cost of the soul contracts. I think that's good, 10% reduction. I like the idea. And then let's quickly get a cultist back. But man, it's gonna take quite a few minutes to get through this. 5 million health. And the souls are not getting any cheaper. Okay. So we're at that point where, yeah, now they're taking them out very annoyingly. Thankfully, the skeletons are super cheap. So whenever it takes them out, it's just like, hey, stop that. Okay, so this isn't that bad. It's just paying a lot more attention to it. But if we get some more souls here, then we can have a few skeletons at a time, and then we just bring them back all at once when it reaches pretty low. I like the idea. Less to do. And the fact that it's just a little pew. So to get through this quicker, we really need to ramp up the amount of damage we're doing. So we need way more fireballs. Thankfully, just resurrecting skeletons makes sure that it goes up at a very good pace. And when we get past this wall, that should be, yeah, another tier tree. Also, it might just be me, but I think the cost of the mana is dependent on how many units there are. So it's 12 right now. And if we go through this, it goes up and it drops. Oh, that is so good. That would also explain why the goblins cost so much now. Actually, that's not too crazy because we have, a lot of things. But let's also do a lot of damage really quick. There we go. Getting through that quicker. Although maybe we should see what this heightened thing is about. So let's just save up for that. And man, one cultist does not generate the mana that he used to. So let's just get a few more souls in here and then bring cultists back because I like the banking ability that they do. It's just not very fast, at least when it's by itself. That's a pretty steady pace there. So we're already like 25% through this wall and the skeletons are doing a wonderful job. Employee benefits, you get to come back. Oh, you think just because you die, you can slack off? No, not how this works. Oh, we ran out of skeletons. I was distracted for too long. Sorry, little goblin guy. Thankfully, those are pretty cheap still too. But now we are at 500,000 mana. So let's see what this awakening is about. And it unlocked this heightened thing. Increase the senses, increasing minions capacity in battle, increases melee minion damage. Oh, well that would have been nice a while ago. And this next thing is 2.5 million mana cost. Goodness. Well, since the skeletons are here, might as well just see what this is about. Extra 10% damage. Not too great, honestly. Unless because it's so cheap, it can quickly outpace the goblins. Which it is coming back slightly, actually, because that also increases by 10%. And I guess, yeah, the goblins aren't doing too much damage, so we can get the skeletons to be useful again. And because it's so cheap, we can actually do this quite a few times. So they're at 3 times their damage potential. And a little bit of an extra damage multiplier from the captains goes a long way. Same with the mana amping. So they're gonna be doing quite a bit of damage here compared to the goblins if they can stay alive. So do we put that towards the skeleton again? Maybe, but I think we need to boost the fireball damage. Oh, that only went up a little bit. But that still means it collects damage faster. So the skeletons are actually contributing 1/3 of the damage. That is way better than they were looking before. That heighten really helped them out there, which it is good because the damage of the poison kind of plateaued. But let's save up for 20,000 damage fireballs and then launch all the fireballs that we can at once that are above 10,000 damage. And see that that is 35,000 damage a second when it caps out. That is beautiful. Really good progress on this wall, getting away from the damage causers. Estimated damage over 20,000 means a few more fireballs out there. Oh yes, we are quickly making our way through the rest of this wall here. And I really want to see if we can get a second level of amplification here. Oh, there it is, yes! ×2 amplification, that's 3.5 times mana multiplier. Oh, that is so good. The damage is ramping up so fast there. Sadly, though, it lasts for just as long. But, you know, that's way better than it was. Oh, and I guess each tier of amping is unique. So we have to do this again to get to back, but it also just lost one, so we gotta bring it back up again. Hopefully we can. So that's raising the damage multiplier to 5 times. Oh, that is beautiful there. And then do more fireball damage. Yes, the wall is down. So we get past this stupid attacking ones as we lost skeletons and we're starting to lose goblins there. Oh, auto summon. Oh, minions and abilities that automatically summon. When was I able to do this? Just now, that is. But minions that automatically summon, but none of them really do. Well, either way, let's bring back a nice amount of goblins and then a few more skeletons because those are actually cheap now. And since this wall just started, let's go at, I don't really want to reset the skills anymore. Unlocks and buffs the skeleton noble. Automatically summon skeletons? Oh, that's amazing. So that's what that was for. And then an incinerate thing. Increasing damage multiplier. Ooh. +4 times? Oh, I need that. Don't even know what this is for. Poison dagger. That's kind of outlived its usefulness, but here, incinerate active. So that's burning 300 per second. But we're doing 2,000 a second, so we can just keep that on. The wall is burning ever more. And thankfully the skeleton noble only costs 1 soul, so we can bring that back with a couple contracts like this and bring 2 of them, sure. So that's 14 skeletons per minute, which, how's that math out per second? 14 per minute is 0.2 skeletons a second? That kind of seems right. I don't even know which one is the skeleton. Oh wait, it's those guys. But to get 1 skeleton per second then, we would need like 8 or 9 skeleton kings, which isn't the craziest thing in the world, but the souls are getting stupid expensive. We need another subquest. At least we have more incentive to boost the damage of the melee with this heightened ability here, so let's do that a few times. And we might start to see the skeletons outpace the poison damage. Oh wow, look at that damage multiplier. Where did all those zeros come from? And why? But the damage multiplier is looking very good, and we are making steady pace on this wall again too. Honestly, a little surprised, because usually at this point is when there'd be like an option to prestige, but we haven't seen that yet. So, is there a prestige? I have no idea. And look at that damage per second. We are so close to greatness, which we can, you know, instantly tip over with a fireball to raise it to 16,000 damage per second. And the skeletons, okay, so the skeletons we have here aren't changing at all, but I feel like there's more than that though. It's kind of hard to count them when they're dashing back and forth like this. But also, oh wait, summon skeletons still require souls? Oh, that's annoying. So they weren't even doing anything. Fine then, have one. Do we dial back the goblins a little bit? But it's looking so nice. You know what, let's just do the cultists, cash those in, and then use that money to fund some more souls, and then the skeleton kings have more to work with. So sure, that works. So we're actually making pretty steady progress on this wall, even though it has 7.8 million health, while 17 out of 99 is not quite 17%, or actually it actually is 17% repeating. Thank you, calculator, for making me sound dumb. But I tell you what, I think we've reached a good point on this journey. So let's just raise this mana amping to 2 times so the damage multiplier gets a bunch of zeros on it, and just admire the great progress that we're making. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on Journey to Incrementalia. Do appreciate that they have a numbers guide over here, including 1 decillion, which is a real number that I found out very recently. And so did Google. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and sub to Intern. And I would like to thank the channel members, including Bread, Corby Farm, Dakota, Donamoto, DeviantX, Ancient Elixir, Matthew, Hateful Herald, Peggy Sue, Drupalong, Lily, The Miner Within, The Garrity, Sans, Isaac, V, Killer Squad, Mousy, and Nicholas.